Don't turn around. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. I'm Dave, and this is Let's Have a Chat About Leadership for Thursday, March 26, 2020. Good evening. How are you? Thanks for stopping by again. I am David Guerra, your host. So welcome. This is Let's Have a Chat About Leadership. This is the show where I remind you every day, all the time, that everyone is either a leader or a future leader. Don't you forget that. So how are you doing? How are you doing? It is Thursday, and today's show is Lessons in Leadership, Support Your Team. And today, now in this whole unfolding situation, this is critical, no more critical than ever. You have to support your team no matter where they are. They're close by, they're far away, they're in the same house as you. They're scattered all over geographically across the countryside. It doesn't matter, whatever it is, wherever they are, how they're connected or interconnected or not connecting, or they keep dropping their connection. Whatever the situation, they are your team, and you've got to support them. So that is today's topic, support your team. And as I mentioned, this whole COVID-19 situation, this pandemic is stressing teams to the point of, are they going to be effective? Or are they not going to be effective? Are they going to be rendered ineffective? I'm hearing chatter from organizations that they're keeping their people working no matter what. And then I'm hearing chatter from other organizations. We cannot keep our people working. We have to let them go. We have to let them go home. And then I've got a mix. I've been picking up chatter on mix where it's like we have to let some go, but the others have to work from home to keep the bare bones essential of the organization up and running. So that being the case, we have to ensure that the team gets the support. And you as a leader have to be the supporting element. You as the leader have to be the one that supports your team. And that's why this is critical, especially in these times, because the very first thing that they're going to turn to, and they're going to weigh, when all of this is over, they're going to weigh and say, okay, how was this a good thing? Was this a bad thing for our organization? And the number one thing they're going to weigh first and foremost, and it's going to carry the heaviest weight, is going to be communication. And if I knew how to spell communication, I would spell it right the first time. But no, communication. There we go. And that's how we do it. So communication. Is it happening? Is it transpiring? Is it taking place? Is it constant? Is there constant communication? Not an overflow of a communication, especially when there's nothing new to add. I can turn to the local news for that, because that's how they live. They just are constantly waiting, chomping at the bit for the next thing to happen, but they keep repeating the same thing over and over again. And the only thing that's new, the only thing that's really truly new in the media is the commercials, because they're all looking for this back end of this. They're all trying to, they're dumping money in advertising to, get out of it once we get the all clear, once we are free to move about and roam about the country. Then they want us to spend money on them. And that's fine. That's great. That's what this is all about, to ensure that we keep the economy moving, to ensure that continuity of business, continuity of life, everything remains and continues going forward. And that's a good thing. And it's going to be some bad times ahead, but understand that as long as we can see the light at the end of the tunnel, things will be great. So that's where communication comes in. Communication doesn't matter. Phone, fax, email, Skype, Zoom, Facebook, whatever it takes, ensure you're communicating with the people. But leaders, do not cross that fine line and start following their TikToks. Don't start following their Instagrams unless they invited you, unless they asked you to join, or they friended you first. Don't impose yourself. There's a limit. There has to be a limit. My limit is my limit. They know my limits, and I ensure that all my team members know my limits, because it's important. That way they know that, hey, here's that. This is as far as Dave's going to go, and this is as far as Dave's going to step into our private behind the scenes life, and Dave's not going to do that. And Dave expects that same reciprocity. So ensure that communication is taking place. Again, don't over-deliver. Over-deliver. Don't over-promise. There we go. Sorry about that. Do not over-promise. Under-promise, over-deliver, or promise but over-deliver, but never over-promise and under-deliver. No, don't do that. That's nonsense. And I'm talking about this in the communication side of things. ensure that there is communication, and especially when there's stuff going on or it's gone on too long and you haven't said anything new, share that. Say, hey, there's nothing new. I haven't heard anything. Nothing's changed. Next, your team is remoted. It's remotely operating. It's functional across where it never was before. Now, we've heard of remote teams, and those are examples that we should be looking at to determine how to get this done, how to do this, how to make this process a little bit better. But ultimately, it falls down to where the other teams that have been remote working teams, they've already done it, and that is that trust but verify, and that is what is needed to be done. Trust them to do their work. Trust that they're getting the work done, but verify sometimes. Hey, you having any issues? You meeting your goals? You accomplishing your goals? That is necessary. One, it's almost the same type of operation that you'd be doing in office in a face-to-face setting. However, you also give them a little bit of trust in that you're letting them work from home and they're able to continue working. So be careful there. Again, check in at preset times. Let them know you're going to be checking in at these preset times. Don't be just like, okay, I'm going to wait and, oh, here we go. Now I'm going to random times. No. Preset times. That way they can continue working and they know to kind of taper off when it comes to that preset time, as opposed to they're going 100 miles an hour and finally they're breaking through into this new project they're starting, and boom, they have to come to a grinding halt and disturb their groove because you wanted to check in on them. No, set some presets. Provide virtual and physical support to your team now more than ever, especially when they're out there remote. Ask them, you got everything? You need anything? Look, I'm going to be driving through the area. I can make a special trip to your area. I can drop something off. Is there anything you need from the office? Is there anything you need from the store? I'm going to the store. I'm going to be picking up some stuff. What do you need? Leaders, you now have to be that kind of support element. You have to be now that kind of logistics manager. You now have to apply that, not just virtually for running interference, but also physically being there to support them, give them what they need, provide for them in their time of need, because it becomes your time of need. It trickles down. They can't communicate. They can't connect. Boom. Then what have you got? You got ineffective employee there because for some technological reason that you don't have any control over, in the sense of, do you know the technology and how to bring things back up online? No, but you might have a corporate account for one of these, and guess what? They can do a little hotspot there, and boom, they're back online, they're connected. So something to think about. Something to think about. Think about those logistics. So folks, this entire process, throughout this entire time, your team's going to be out there working. Your team's going to be out there hustling and grinding on your behalf, wherever they are across the countryside. But they need to understand that, hey, they have your support. They know that they can turn to you in any situation, physical or virtual situation. They can turn to you and it will get addressed. The support is there, and that's a good thing. So keep those lines of communication open. That's really the bottom line. Team members, reach out, communicate, ensure that, and ask questions if you're not getting it. If you have a team Skype, or you have a team Zoom session, or you have Microsoft Teams. Yeah, I'm not advocating the use of any of these products, but all I am saying is whatever works for you works for you. Ensure that you and your team are functioning and communicating 100% of the time throughout this situation. And who knows how long it's going to last, but I guarantee you one thing, folks, it will come to an end. There is light at the end of the tunnel. And when we get there, we're going to be much better employees. We're going to be much better coworkers. We're going to be much better peers. We're going to be much better colleagues. We're going to be much better supervisors. We're going to be much better human beings. And folks, that's the bottom line. That's where it's all at. And that's what this is all going to show us at the back end of all of this, just how much we've given, how much we've taken, and how much we can go further. So get out there, talk to your teams, get it all ramped up, get it going. And until tomorrow, I wish you a great evening. Take care of yourselves. Be kind to one another. I thank you for watching. And most of all, have a good evening. Take care.